Yeah, I think probably a couple of the big areas were, one, trying to maintain our focus, through a workout, through a practice, through a team bonding exercise, which we hope will lead to consistency. As we've kind of evaluated, from one year to the next, we thought last year was a roller coaster ride at times, and we need to be more consistent, and trying to find ways to build that in our off season and preseason camp has been important to us.
I think it's been really good. We've got a great freshman class coming in, so it's been great to see those guys in pads and stuff. We heard a lot about them in the off season, so it's great to see what they've been doing. We return a lot of guys from the back seven and on defense, so sort of seeing the progression that people have made over the off season has been really cool. And I think we're in a good spot offensively. We got a bunch of great leaders over there, so I think we're in a good spot and where we want to be.
Preseason's been going real well so far. A lot of young guys stepping up, specifically on the offensive side. Joshua Brees, very excited about him at running back. And then some other young slots, we're really excited to get some playing time. So preseason's been going well so far.
Yeah, I think they seem to be a really tight-knit group. And I think that was kind of one of the emphasis in the offseason. But, we had so many kids abroad and away at internships, we really weren't sure what that was going to look like. But, here we are, we're getting ready to have practice 13 out here, and they seem to be very tight-knit. There's a sense of a unity about them that, every head coach wants to see in their team. And then I think the things that jump out on the field themselves are, I think we're a fast team. I think we run extremely well on both sides of the football. Offensively, we're probably not quite as big as we've been in some positions at O-back and maybe in a couple spots up front, but I think we're probably as fast as we've been in my time here. And defensively, probably the opposite. We're probably as big as we've been, but I think we still run very well.
I think we need to go out and play with some swagger. I know we have the talent to beat anybody on our schedule, but I think it's sometimes, especially last year, we came into the game and didn't realize we really belonged on the field with Johns Hopkins until the second quarter, which wasn't too late at that point, but it would have helped if we went down 14-0.
Well, I think probably in the area of depth, we call it the next man up. That's what we've been talking about in camp. Who's going to win some of those jobs? Who's going to develop into that player that we can count on Saturday to give our starting, whether it's a linebacker or a running back, a blow for a series or two to create depth. And I think that's a big key for us this year. I think last year we thought we were probably as deep as we've been, and really, that wasn't a concern going into camp. That is a concern because we thought probably some of those depth issues would come from some of our younger players. Now, with that said, I think here we are 2 weeks into this, and I think some of those questions have already been answered. I'm really pleased with what we're seeing with some of our youth.
I'd say the biggest thing is consistency. Last year we played great in certain games, but then we would turn around the next week and just sort of have huge letdowns. And that's a big issue every year. But as a team, that our main goal this year is to win the ODAC. That's something we have to sort of keep in mind every day, every practice, every game. And every decision we make, both on and off the field, to sort of hold each other accountable and make sure we can keep have our top performances week in, week out.
Yeah, offensively, I don't. To me, it's no breakout player because he's been on the field every game for 2 years. But Matt Sgro, he's a first-year starter at quarterback, and Matt has a huge upside. He's played in a lot of games for us, but he has been our backup quarterback, and it's his first year to run the show. And I just think he could have a huge year for us. Yeah, defensively, I think really, up front it could be one of numerous guys. Philip Davis, who's had a great offseason, great camp in our interior line. Oakley Mize, Jay Roberts. These are guys that really played a lot as a first-year player last year and have really bought into our defensive system, have lifted hard, put on some weight, and yeah, I couldn't be more excited about what we see out of that group.
I'm really excited. Certainly we're first focused on Hopkins, but then we have Claremont McKenna and WashU St. Louis, all essentially top 25 teams. I don't think there's any better way to go into our conference schedule. We play a hard conference, and preparing with teams like that, teams that we can beat, I don't think there's anything better challenge for us as a team.
I think just going back to what I said earlier about consistency, just making sure every day practice we take advantage of the time we have out here on the field, that we really focus on getting better, the little things, making sure we, in drill work, individual, just making sure you do everything right, and hopefully these little things will all put together and then we can come up with a big win week 1.